Hello, friends. Welcome to Daily English Spark. Today we will learn English with the true and powerful story of Nelson Mandela. Mandela was a man who never gave up. He spent 27 years in prison, but when he came out, he forgave his enemies and became the first black president of South Africa. This story is about courage, hope, and freedom. Listen carefully. Enjoy the story and try to learn new English words as we go. And don't forget to like this video. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you never miss a new story. Now, let's begin the journey of Nelson Mandela, a long walk to freedom. Nelson Mandela is one of the most famous leaders in modern history. People around the world respect him for his courage, his patience, and his fight for justice. His life story is not only about one man, but also about the struggle of an entire nation. It is the story of South Africa, a country that lived for many years under an unfair system called apartheid. Mandela's long journey shows us the power of hope, forgiveness, and never giving up. Childhood and early life. Nelson Mandela was born on July 18, 1918, in a small village in South Africa called Mvezo. His birth name was Rolihlahla, which in his language means troublemaker. Later, his teacher gave him the English name Nelson, a common practice at that time in South Africa. Mandela grew up in a traditional Xhosa community. His father was a local leader, but when Nelson was only 9 years old, his father died. After this, he was taken to live with the regent of the Thembu people, who raised him as if he were part of the royal family. As a boy, Mandela was like many other children. He played games, looked after animals, and listened to stories from the elders about bravery and leadership. These stories influenced him. They made him dream of helping his people. He saw the pain of his community, and even as a child, he felt that something was wrong in the way black people were treated in South Africa. When Mandela went to school, he was the first in his family to receive formal education. He studied hard and later attended university. There, he learned more about law, history, and politics. At university, he also started to question the system around him. He asked, "Why are black people not treated the same as white people? Why can they not vote? Why are they forced to live separately?" These questions grew stronger in his mind as he got older. The system of apartheid. To understand Mandela's life, we must understand apartheid. Apartheid was a system of racial separation in South Africa. It started officially in 1948, but existed in different forms before that. Under apartheid, white people controlled the government, the land, the schools, and almost everything. Black South Africans, who were the majority of the population, had almost no rights. They could not vote. They could not live in the same areas as white people. They could not go to the same schools or hospitals. They had to carry passes to move around. Life under apartheid was very hard for black families. Many were forced to live in poor areas, far from cities. They had to travel long distances for work, often in difficult conditions. Police could arrest them at any time if they did not have the right documents. Mandela saw all this and knew it was unfair. He decided that he would not remain silent. He would use his education and his voice to fight this system. The young lawyer and activist. After finishing his studies, Mandela became a lawyer. He opened the first black law firm in Johannesburg with his friend Oliver Tambo. Many black people came to them for help because they could not afford white lawyers. Mandela listened to their stories. He saw their pain and their anger. This only made him more determined to bring change. In the 1940s, Mandela joined the African National Congress, ANC, a political group that wanted equal rights for all South Africans. At first, the ANC believed in peaceful protest. They organized marches, petitions, and strikes. Mandela became one of the young leaders of the ANC. He was brave, strong, and passionate. But the government responded with violence. Police beat protesters, arrested leaders, and even killed people who spoke against apartheid. Mandela began to realize that peaceful methods alone might not be enough. Turning to resistance. In 1961, after many years of peaceful struggle, Mandela and his friends started a group called Umkhonto weSizwe, which means Spear of the Nation. This group decided to fight back by damaging government buildings, railways, and power stations. They wanted to hurt the system, not people. They believed this was the only way to make the government listen. Mandela went into hiding. He moved from place to place wearing disguises. The police called him the Black Pimpernel because he was so difficult to catch. But in 1962, the police finally arrested him. He was accused of leaving the country without permission and of planning to overthrow the government. At his trial, Mandela spoke bravely. He said he was ready to fight for a free South Africa. He told the court that he was prepared to die if that was the price of freedom. The judges sentenced him to life in prison. 27 years in prison. Mandela was sent to Robben Island, a prison near Cape Town. Life in prison was very hard. Mandela and other prisoners were forced to do heavy labor, like breaking rocks. They slept on cold floors. They were given little food. They were not allowed to see their families often. But even in prison, Mandela did not give up. He continued to learn, to teach, and to lead. He studied languages, law, and politics. He encouraged younger prisoners. He reminded them that their struggle was not over. Mandela also showed great discipline. He exercised every day in his small cell. He kept his mind sharp by reading and writing. He believed that even in prison, he could remain free in his heart. Outside the prison, the world began to notice Mandela. People in many countries started campaigns to free him. They sang songs, carried signs, and demanded his release. The slogan, "Free Nelson Mandela," became famous around the world. Release and freedom. Finally, after 27 years, Mandela was released on February 11, 1990. He was 71 years old. When he walked out of prison, holding the hand of his wife Winnie, millions of people celebrated. The world watched on television as this tall, calm man raised his fist in victory. But Mandela's fight was not over. South Africa was still under apartheid. The government finally began talks with the ANC and other groups. Mandela played a key role in these negotiations. Many people were angry and wanted revenge, but Mandela asked for peace. He said, "We must forgive. We must build a new South Africa together." In 1994, South Africa held its first democratic election. For the first time, black people were allowed to vote. Millions of people stood in long lines, some for hours, to cast their first vote. Nelson Mandela won the election and became the first black president of South Africa. President Mandela. As president, Mandela faced many challenges. The country was divided. Many people were poor. There was mistrust between black and white communities. Mandela knew that healing was as important as change. He created the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, where people could tell the truth about past crimes. Instead of punishment, the focus was on forgiveness and learning. Mandela showed the world that peace is stronger than revenge. He also worked to improve schools, hospitals, and housing. He believed that education was the key to freedom. One of his most famous quotes is, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." Mandela served only one term as president, from 1994 to 1999. After that, he stepped down, showing that leadership is about service, not power. Legacy and lessons. Nelson Mandela passed away on December 5, 2013, at the age of 95. The whole world mourned. Leaders from every country came to honor him. People remembered him not only as a South African hero, but also as a global symbol of freedom and justice. Mandela's life teaches us many lessons. Never give up, even when the struggle is long. Forgiveness is stronger than hate. Education and unity can change a nation. His journey from a small village boy to a prisoner, and finally to the president of a free country, is truly a long walk to freedom.